It's time to nut up or shut up. Zombieland Double Tap. Now, Zombieland Double Tap is the sequel to the 2009 film Zombieland, one of my all-time favorite movies. Yeah, I actually mean that. I know, it's crazy, right? I mean, Zombieland, really? Yeah, really. I recently, around Halloween, released a review of the original Zombieland and told you guys why it meant so much to me. It's one of my all-time faves, and I've been waiting for a sequel ever since the first film ended, seriously. And I've been following every single piece of information on the internet regarding the sequel. At some point there were some talks regarding a TV show, but I think the pilot never aired, and they wanted to make a sequel for such a long time. They've been talking about it, and now it's finally here. It took them 10 years. The entire cast is back. It's directed once again by Ruben Fleischer, the guy who directed the first one, written by the same folks, and the movie takes place 10 years after the events of the original. And our band of lovable ass kickers and zombie killers basically have become a family. They have bonded over the last 10 years. However, when Little Rock ditches everyone in order to hang out with her new crush, it's up to the rest of the gang to find her and possibly save her from zombies. And now we have a sequel. And truth be told, my expectations were up here because, as I said, the original is one of my all-time faves. And I gotta tell you, this movie did not deliver. It's still a good film. It's not a piece of shit. It's not a bad movie, but my expectations couldn't be met. However, this movie does have some genuine give and take, but let's talk about the positives first. Like, if you're here for just the crew, just the OG 4 members, the first act gives you everything that you've been waiting for. The first act is actually my favorite act of the entire movie because we pick up with these characters, we establish some new funny gimmicks. For example, in the first one, they always had those rules. Remember the zombie apocalypse survival rules? Now we have something similar that they do in order to categorize the different types of zombies. That was amazing. Also, the chemistry. Once again, you know that these 4 actors just love one another. They're all great. And everything you love about these characters, you get it. Tallahassee is still a shit talker, still a badass, even though in this film he's almost on the brink of becoming a caricature of his character from the first film. Because remember the first one, when he told the story about his son and you were like, wow, we're having a serious moment here. This time, not so much. However, he works perfectly as this father figure for Little Rock, because that, they laid the groundwork for all of that in the first one. And the romance between Emma Stone and Jesse Eisenberg, aka Wichita and Columbus, once again works. They have great chemistry. All 4 of them are just perfect. The zombie action, once again, is phenomenal, especially in the first act. And we have some new additions, mainly Zoe Deutsch, I think that's her name. She plays this very obnoxious blondie, and at first she's hilarious. Like the first act, she was she made me crack up, which was surprising to me because she's supposed to be this very obnoxious character, and she worked for a while. However, at some point she overstays her welcome and actually becomes a nuisance for the viewers. The same goes for these 2 doppelganger characters that we already saw in the trailer. One of them is being portrayed by Luke Wilson. They didn't work for me whatsoever. However, they did lead to an amazing action sequence, probably the best action sequence of the film. And Rosario Dawson is another new addition, and she worked best. She's the best out of all the new additions. Once again, Tallahassee is obsessed with a celebrity. In the first one was Bill Murray. This time around, it's Elvis. It did work for me. The dynamic between him and Columbus is still great. However, the pacing isn't as strong as it was in the first one. Like, the first one was either a great zombie scene or a funny moment or a genuine nice character moment. This time around, it's like a joke, and the joke overstays its welcome, and just before it becomes a nuisance, oh, we got a great zombie scene. So the pacing isn't as strong. And the finale, like when they're all back together, I was like, yeah, this is what I was looking for, because there's a great scene near the end. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't seen the movie yet, where the four OG characters bond, and it's an emotional scene that I actually really enjoyed, but I would have loved to see more of that, because you want to see these four characters on screen. Their dynamic, their chemistry was what made the original so great. So every single time you see them on screen together, it's perfect. It's everything I've been waiting for the past 10 years. However, they decided to divide the crew and mix stuff up with a couple new characters, and this is where the movie fails. Also, the big finale, obviously you're gonna have a big finale sequence involving zombies. It wasn't as spectacular as the shootout sequence in Pacific Playland. That is still unparalleled and still epic. Even though I still liked the climax, the showdown, it was fun. It was fun enough, and this movie kept me entertained throughout its entirety. But it just doesn't live up to the original, which is a bummer. But does that mean that it sucks? No, it's funny because I compared the first movie to the original Ghostbusters and called it Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters for zombie movies. I think this is what I called it. And this movie is basically Ghostbusters 2. A nice sequel, a fun enough movie, a movie that suffers from sequel-itis and that does not live up to the original, but it's a nice companion piece. I could see myself popping it in every now and then after watching the original. But all in all, I gotta say, I liked it. I would have loved to see more of our original characters. I would have loved to see more of them interacting in more creative ways of them interacting with the zombie apocalypse, because the zombies, they are sparingly in the movie. Every single time they're there, it's awesome, it's epic, they're still fast, and they do something creative with the zombies that I really dug. But I gotta say, this movie left me a little bit disappointed. Maybe it's because I love the first one so much, but I think if you're a casual fan of the first one, you're gonna be fine with this film. And I was fine with this film. It just didn't hit me on such a personal level as the first. But me being a hardcore fan of the first, and me being a hardcore fan of these characters, I gotta say that Zombieland Double Tap gets a silver medal. Yeah, I'm surprising myself right now. I thought I was gonna give it the bronze medal, but overall I was thoroughly entertained. There wasn't a moment where I was like, oh, this sucks ass. There was only that one joke that really didn't work for me, was that doppelganger joke. Didn't work in the trailer, didn't work in the film because they stretched it out. I was like, oh my god. But other than that, everything worked for me, more or less. It just disappointed me because I saw so much more potential for the sequel. And there is a post-credit scene that is once again amazing. I'm not gonna spoil it once again in case you haven't seen it. But that's my review for Zombieland Double Tap. And now it's up to you. Zombieland Double Tap. Have you seen it? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, then just subscribe.